After a Game 4 loss in which the Canadiens were the better team but didn't have Lady Luck on their side, the Habs traveled to Buffalo for a pivotal Game 5 matchup against the Sabres. Montreal went just 1 for 7 on the power play on Tuesday night, while the Sabres were 2 for 4, and that lack of special teams execution, paired with a lucky bounce off the stanchion, were the reasons the Habs came up short in that one. Once again, no changes to the lineup for the Canadiens. Somewhat surprising to me that neither Oliver Kapanen or Brendan Gallagher could find their way into the lineup, but we'll see how things go in this one. Dobes is 4-0 with a .948 save percentage following losses this postseason, and Luukkonen gets the start in net for the Sabres. And it's another very early goal for Buffalo in this series. Just 2 minutes in, Jack Quinn put a shot on target that was deflected by Jason Zucker, and it looked like it may have bounced off of a couple other bodies in front of Dobes before reaching the back of the net, and for the 4th time in 5 games, the Sabres score in the opening minutes. Not the kind of start the Canadiens were hoping for. Unforced errors early and missed opportunities to clear the zone effectively have been an ongoing issue for the Canadiens all series. Now, speaking of unforced errors, the Canadiens quickly answer back less than 6 minutes later. Juraj Slafkovsky scoops up a loose puck in front of Luukkonen, sends a pass behind his back to Suzuki, who waits for Cole Caulfield to get in position, finds the Demidov forward stick, Caulfield tips it in and behind Luukkonen, and for the 3rd time this series, the Habs tie the game in the first period after allowing an early goal to the Sabres. It's his first goal at 5-on-5 in the playoffs and his 4th overall. It finally seems like Cole Caulfield has found his game, and he's beginning to produce as he has all season long. Now, another unforced error by the Canadiens after a failed clearing attempt led to a long shot by Doan that appeared to beat Dobes clean and put Buffalo back on top. Shots from distance with traffic in front are going to give any goaltender problems. Add that to the fact that you're turning the puck over with regularity in your own end, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Montreal falls down 2-1, but they don't dwell on their mistakes for long. Just 9 seconds after the Sabres go ahead 2-1, Alexandre Carrier throws a shot on target. The puck redirects off of the skate of Alexandre Texier and goes into the net. This game is all kinds of insane. Quick goals by the home team, rapid replies by the visitors. Somehow this one is 2-2 just 8 minutes in. A bit of luck, a lot of hard work, and those are the kinds of goals you're going to have to score in the playoffs. The rapid-fire goals continue. Just 2 minutes after the Texier equalizer, Jakub Dobes lets in a goal that you really don't like. There's no other way to describe it but a bad goal. It looked like it may have grazed off of Hudson, but a shot from between the face-off circles beats him 5-hole, and on just their 4th shot of the game, the Sabres have their 3rd goal. St. Louis and Letowski think about taking Dobes out, but they decide against it. And for the 3rd time in the game already, they're down by a goal. The Habs have to find a way to rebound yet again. The game finally settles down a bit after the 3rd Sabres goal, but that wasn't really a good thing for the Canadiens. The Sabres seemed to have the majority of the possession and control of the puck in the second half of the period. Dobes was eventually able to settle himself a little bit, coming up with a few big saves and getting himself back in the game, but he seemed pretty fragile in the net. There weren't a ton of looks for either side, but it seemed like the game was balanced on a knife's edge and could tip either way very quickly. The Canadiens go into the first intermission trailing 3-2. They're still in it, but my goodness, this was a stressful period and not what you wanted to see from the Habs. Montreal came into the second needing just 1 to tie it, but the Sabres stepped on the gas early. Dobes had to make a few early stops as the Habs got hemmed in their own end a few times. Buffalo seemed poised to take their first 2-goal lead of the game, and the Sabres continued to press. They eventually caught the Habs on a line change with Tage Thompson, of all people, sneaking in behind Juraj Slafkovsky, finding himself all alone on Dobes. Thompson tried to outweight the Habs netminder, but Dobes was able to stay with the puck, get his left pad up, make a monstrous stop early in the period, and somehow keep the Canadiens within 1. Early in the second, Dobes is starting to find his form and look like the guy we have seen all through the playoffs and the last several months. That save was the catalyst for the Canadiens and maybe a turning point not only in the game, but the entire series. Just a few minutes later, Lane Hutson makes a phenomenal play off of a face-off win, driving down low, drawing the defense towards him. Hudson then sent the puck through the crease right onto the tape of Josh Anderson, who was able to tap the puck in, draw the Canadiens even, for the third time. Such a terrific offensive play from last year's Calder Trophy winner, and once again a critical contribution from one of the Canadiens' depth forwards, with Anderson potting his third goal of the playoffs. Now from that point on in the second period, the play was controlled almost exclusively by the Habs, and Ivan Demidov went full Super Saiyan. Despite not having scored all postseason, he looked like he was not going to be denied in this one. He was absolutely robbed by Luukkonen on a couple of occasions, including a gorgeous passing play similar to Cole Caulfield's goal in the first period. Somehow it didn't go in, but Montreal did not let that stop them. They pushed and pushed to score the go-ahead goal. The Sabres were on their heels big time, barely hanging on and unable to keep up with Montreal's speed. Buffalo caught a break when Juraj Slafkovsky got called for a high stick. It gave the Sabres their first chance on the power play, and Montreal's special teams, which were the reason for their loss at home in Game 4, get their first chance at redemption as they go down a man. The PK did a terrific job tying up sticks, preventing the Sabres from getting shots on net and clearing the zone as they survived the penalty, worked through the full 2 minutes, and they got back to even strength. Montreal didn't let the Sabres seize momentum after that penalty, and about 90 seconds after the end of the penalty kill, Ivan Demidov let a shot go that squeaked through Luukkonen, and as the puck was trickling towards the goal line, Jake Evans crashed the net, fighting for the loose puck and just barely getting his stick on it. Evans pushed it across the goal line, gave the Canadiens their first lead of the night. Tage Thompson then took a brain-dead penalty. He got his stick up, cross-checked Jake Evans right on the chin. Not a smart play by Thompson, and Montreal got their first power play, and it took only 10 seconds. Nick Suzuki accepted a feed from Juraj Slafkovsky. He ripped a one-timer right under the pad of Luukkonen, putting the Habs up by 2 with 2.5 minutes to go in the period. The game has turned on its head completely. After it looked like the Habs were completely cooked and totally screwed, they've scored 3 straight goals in the second period to go ahead multiple goals, and the teams go into the intermission with the Canadiens on the verge of putting the Buffalo Sabres on the brink of elimination. The Sabres go for the Hail Mary. They put Alex Lyon back in the net to start the third, and the period starts out with a few looks for each team. Benson came within inches of putting one in early before Juraj Slafkovsky ripped a wrister off the post. Dobes made a few more big saves early before Ivan Demidov continued to make his mark on this one, drawing a cross-checking penalty on Rasmus Dahlin as he drove the net. The Habs got their second chance with the man advantage, and Montreal's first unit goes out and applies constant pressure. Multiple times they put shots on target that went wide, but they held the zone, maintained the pressure until finally Ivan Demidov called for the pass from Juraj Slafkovsky. He worked to the middle of the ice, let a wrist shot fly, and he finally tickled the twine, his first career playoff goal, and look at the relief on his face as that one goes in. Will that be the goal that opens the floodgates for Demidov? He has been absolutely dominant so far in this game, and I'm just so happy for him. He deserved to have one go in, and the Canadiens go up by 3 goals for the third time in this series. It's that little bit of extra breathing room that gives the team just that much more space to play carefree without gripping the sticks too hard. The Habs have a couple of chances shortly after to go up 7-3, but Lyon manages to come up with a few nice saves, keeping Buffalo's slim hopes alive, and the final 12 minutes or so were where Buffalo started to just throw everything on target. Not every shot was a great chance, so the advantage in shots was a little more than misleading, but Jakub Dobes went on to make 18 saves in the third period alone, and on the occasions where the Sabres did get in close enough for high danger looks, it was either Dobes or his defenseman keeping the puck out of the net. Buffalo went into full desperation mode, pulling the goaltender with 6.5 minutes to go. They got a couple of looks, but nothing that really made you worry. Lane Hudson ended up getting sent off for a cross-check late, so Buffalo went to a 6-on-4 advantage with 3.5 minutes to go. The Canadiens' penalty kill stood tall, did its job, and whereas last game, the Habs lost the special teams battle and lost the game as a result, this time they won it in resounding fashion. They scored both times with the man advantage, and they held the Sabres goalless in 2 tries on their power play. After allowing 3 goals on the first 4 shots he faced, Jakub Dobes went on to make 32 consecutive saves, rewarding Martin St. Louis and Trevor Letowski for their faith in him. and I'm sure many Habs fans, myself included, were wondering if maybe they should take him out and go with Fowler after that third goal went in. But in the end, sticking with Dobes proved to be the best decision the team could have possibly made. Buffalo tried, but they couldn't solve Dobes, who overcame the early adversity and delivered another statement game, leading the Canadiens to a 6-3 victory, bringing the series back to Montreal on Saturday, where the Canadiens will have a chance to display their killer instinct, put the final nail in the Sabres' coffin on home ice, and they're gonna look to book a date with the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's hope they get the job done on Saturday at the Bell Center and don't make themselves go to 7 yet again. Anyway, you guys, that's gonna be it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you made it to the end of the video, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and have a great night, guys.